Hello, my name is Dylan Nardiello. I am a part of Group D, and today I would like to discuss with you some of the benefits and drawbacks of building a combined commercial/residential center for Hall County. More specifically, will this bring more people to the Hall County area? The research used to support my arguments will draw off of the data gathered from residents and organizations located near the Avalon in Alpharetta, Georgia, as well as an interview with my father, who has worked in commercial and residential real estate for over 25 years. This targeted research is applicable to our center's proposal because the Avalon is both commercial and residential. Drawing off of an already established commercial/residential center will allow us to better understand if the residents of Hall County will accept or reject the new town center, as well as provide some data on whether or not it will bring more people to Hall County and what are the positives and negatives of this population increase. So let us begin. In short, yes, this will bring more people to the area, simply because we would be building residential housing, not to mention commercial units that will attract business owners and other larger companies that may be looking for commercial space. According to pointtohomes.com, in 2020, the Avalon/Alpharetta area had over 22,000 residential households with over 64,000 residents. Research also indicates that the households inside the Avalon specifically are evenly distributed between families with children and families without children. This data suggests that residents are not opposed to living in a combined commercial/residential living space, and it is suitable for all types of families. So with that being said, now let's take a look at some of the potential drawbacks that can come from building this commercial/residential center. So with more residents moving into an area, there are bound to be some drawbacks that will affect the already existing population. These drawbacks normally include things like increased traffic, noise, and more kids in classrooms. More kids than before in the classrooms. However, there are ways to prepare for these potential drawbacks. With any new construction project, there will need to be some sort of road exposure and development. Similar to the Avalon, the roads will need to be widened to account for the access and population, as well as entrances and exits to major conjoining highways. As it pertains to the issue of noise, some parameters will need to be established, like a code of noise conduct or a noise regulation system. The Avalon is a good example. The Avalon enforces a noise regulation system. Reports from residents that live in the Avalon state that noise warnings are often given due to the close proximity of the housing. So yeah, with people sharing a wall or two walls, it's not uncommon to hear your neighbor, particularly if they are a loud bunch. And finally, with the additional children entering the neighboring schools' classrooms, there will need to be a plan for this. This will have to be addressed by the school boards, and they will have to figure out a way to accommodate all the new children that are coming into the area. So this might involve hiring more teachers or potentially maximizing the limit of children that are permitted to a classroom. And so those are going to be some of the drawbacks. But now let's talk about all the benefits of building a combined commercial and residential center for Hall County. There's going to be many benefits of building a combined center here in Hall County. Let's look at the Avalon, for instance, right? So they have become almost become almost self-sustaining. With a combined commercial and residential center, people no longer have to leave for every little thing, basically removing a lot of unnecessary travel. right? So the center's residents would be able to go to the bank, go to the doctor, go to their dentist, go to the store, go grab dinner or drink somewhere, all without leaving this, the same little convenient area, creating a very self-sustainable town within a town, so to speak, like the Avalon, with a lot of its driving force coming from its residents. Not to mention all the outside visitors that will come to utilize all the commercial spaces like the bars and the restaurants and retail stores and much more. Besides creating a self-sustaining town within a town, an additional selling point to grab people's attentions in hopes of persuading them to move into the residential housings will be a higher density in tax base. So, with smaller living quarters, they will be subjected to lower property taxes. I interviewed my informant on November 17th. And again, this is my father, who's worked in commercial real estate for over 25 years. And his beliefs on one of the highest selling points would be to provide more jobs to the locals. This stimulates the economy as well as the growth of our new center. This will provide some incentive. This will provide some positive incentive for the residents of Hall County because more jobs will be available to them for years to come. And finally, with nicer facilities comes, pretty expensive townhomes or condominiums. According to pointtohomes.com, the average household income inside the Avalon is upwards of $160,000 annually. So this would be bringing more medium, high-level income residents to the area that would also help stimulate the economy. While it isn't necessarily praised to associate yourself, with wealthier people simply just to be around them, there are many benefits of having higher income residents in your area. But it is important to note that white-collared residents are not the only ones that are able to afford a place to live in a combined commercial and residential center such as this. The Avalon is a good example. The Avalon has a small majority of households with a median level income or blue-collar residents, and some that are barely above the poverty line. So creating a diverse living environment isn't at all frowned upon, but if anything, the Avalon proves to us that it works, and it works well. So in conclusion, yes, this development will bring more residents to the area, as well as more business, which will help stimulate the economy and offer locals more positions of employment. By looking at the example that the Avalon has set in Alpharetta, a neighboring city, we are able to better predict our numbers and possible outcomes. That being said, our projections indicate that far more benefits will come from building this combined commercial and residential center than negatives. Thank you.